Hi.
Welcome in, Antoine.
Hi. My name is Anthony. I'm
Oh,
calling from
Anthony.
Germany.
I'm sorry. I'm not good at
No, it's fine.
names.
It's fine. I wrote Antoine. I'm calling from Germany. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, so please uh, forgive me for being a bit silent because of my neighbors.
Fair enough. So, Anthony, are you a believer?
Yes.
Okay. And are you a believer in the Christian God?
Yes.
Okay. And do you think that the Christian God is all good or partially good or not good?
I have concerns.
Yeah, I can understand that. Maybe let's start there. Let's put a finger on that. What are your concerns?
Um, let's say I'm a Protestant, like evangelical, um, like the European non-Catholic Christians. And I'm transitioning to being more the Abrahamanist because I think it's nonsense to fight between Jewish, Muslim, and Christians. Um, and I tend to use religion or faith more like a tool. And my question for you is, if it's appropriate to use tools like faith, prayer, being thankful to a supernatural entity, um, and not being so faithful. And my final question is actually, how, if we deconstruct, how and with what shall we fill the gap in between?
That's a fair question. And I think for everyone, it's a little bit different. But for me, my process was I was a Christian. And during my deconstruction, I kind of went from Christianity is true to this idea of, well, Christianity definitely isn't true because the New Testament's full of lies and Jesus didn't fill any messianic expectations whatsoever. But it might still be that like the Abrahamic God is real. And then for me, I think really applying my reading of the Old Testament led me to the conclusion that even the Abrahamic God doesn't make a lot of sense. For example, like the Abrahamic God, if we go back to the Adam and Eve narrative, right? So, according to the theology, after Adam and Eve sinned, he increased pains in childbirth, right? He made bearing children difficult. Then he cursed the earth, and now we get natural disasters and things, right? This is like a super illogical thing to do if you're God and you actually care about your creation. Like, I can understand maybe a punishment, like some kind of a punishment, like the idea that mankind would have to work by the sweat of their brow to feed themselves. Okay, I get that. Yeah, you have to work a little bit, right? But for the bulk of human history, like a lot of women, like as high as 4% of women died giving childbirth. That to me doesn't check out. And if the God is all knowing and he's all good, it seems weird to me that he would enact some kind of a rule where 4% of women giving childbirth would die. And then there have been time periods where as high as 40 to 50% of the children born would die before they get a year old. So the maternal death rate and the infant death rate has been really high in history. And according to the Abrahamic religion, it's because of what God did.
Yeah, the big question is if the whole experience of mankind should have the need to go through all these awful, difficult phases, and always being on the search for knowledge, new experience, redefining ourselves, who we are, where we come from, where we go to. At the end, if you think it to the end, like if we think of a God who's lonely, alone, and tends to create something beside himself just to keep himself entertained, what is the end goal? to have another entity with the same power beside himself. So this is a real human kind of perspective. But maybe this is his end goal, to have some other entity which is as powerful like him, a playing partner.
Yeah, so I agree. So if there is a God, I'm inclined to believe that there's got to be more than one of them. It doesn't make sense that there's just one God. And if God was all alone and he wanted company, it seems weird that he would create us as opposed to another God. Because like realistically, from his point of view, like we're like toys, like we're pets at
Yes, we are.
best. We're not equals.
Yes, we are. So I'm totally aware of what you try to do for your audience, for yourself, and for us being in the path of deconstructing, which you maybe tend to help. My question is it appropriate to, on the path to deconstruction, is it appropriate to still use tools like praying, which is an inner monologue, to find words, to structure thoughts, to structure fears and hopes, which is a forced dialogue with oneself? Is it appropriate to use these kind of tools, or is this still a trap which keeps us in this, away from the path to deconstruct?
Well, I think that deconstruction is a process, right? So if part of your process, right, involves you still practicing things that we would classify as religion, like I don't think that's wrong. Like so I mean, if it helps you mentally and emotionally, then I'm all for it, right? Like if you're having a tough day and praying to an unknown God or an unknown force in the universe can alleviate a little bit of stress, yeah, I love that for you. I think the reason why we do these live streams is because, as you've probably already seen, there's people that will get up here and justify horrors because, well, it came from my book, right? And so that's the kind of stuff that is problematic that we need to leave behind. But like we've got friends in the space like Reverend Carla, who still practices. She's deconstructed, but she still practices a form of spirituality. We've got some people that deconstruct and move towards Buddhism because they're like, listen, the idea of a creator God doesn't make any sense anymore, but I still believe in like a spirit realm, and Buddhism offers that, right? So like if 100% of the people that deconstructed here ended up still being spiritual, it's probably benign. Like I don't think it really it doesn't hurt the day-to-day process, right? Like they're not going to go out and hurt somebody because their religion told them to. It's the people who have a book that is, thousands of years old, that's unchangeable, unquestionable. That's where problems come in.
Well, maybe this is the last point, because this is not your goal for these live streams, which I'm forcing on you right now. But this is my question, my catalog of questions. I have two questions. Maybe you can help with giving an answer. Is it proof that mankind needs kind of a religion because we, as we know, always did it?
So this is a really good question. I discussed this with a couple of friends of mine, and I think someone like Dr. Joe, who's in our Discord community, would have a really good answer for this. But it seems to be that we've developed, over the course of evolution, we've developed this idea that it's hard to let go of our parents, right? And so, for example, like we have a deep desire to be connected to our parent, but guess what? Our parents eventually all pass. Like, my dad's already gone, right? But I still have this need. Like I still wake up sometimes missing my father. You know what I mean? So like when we have these God concepts, like they fill the missing parent.
Is it this? Do you think this is one of the aspects of the people who are gone, that we try to figure that out and use faith and religion to, yeah, maybe. Yeah. And my last question is: I understand what you feel, what you think, and your answer. I need to process that. My last question is: if we think of religions like the polytheism to monotheism, are we in a like 5,000, maybe 10,000 years process to get rid of religion and faith and get it more and more abstract?
I think it's a long arc. So when you think about the arc of history and the concepts that we've gotten rid of, think of how long it's taken to get rid of some of these concepts. The idea of slavery. Slavery was thousands of years, right? So I think that history has got a really long arc bending towards truth and justice, but I think it's a long arc. And I don't think that people are always willing to change. I think it takes time.
So we keep on working.
Yeah, we keep on working because like in the arc, you know, it's not completely parabolic. You'll find pieces in the arc where it shifts, like something catastrophic happens and it shifts, right? We can be the shift. We can be that one thing in history that helped it to shift.
Okay, Justin, I appreciate all your work. I'm a new fan, and thank you very much for your time and your answers.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming up and chatting with me, and best of luck on the journey. If you need anything, reach out. My email's on my account. You can hit us up on Discord. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you.
Cheers, friend. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
What a guy. What a guy.
Yeah, good combo.
Yeah.